So good evening. I'm back again. Welcome back to another show. Tonight I've got a Sheff Wednesday fan in the shape of Jake. And good evening to you, Jake.
Good evening. How are you, John?
I'm champion, not very bad. I mean, it's just been a long day at work today. And look, at the end of the day, I should have gone to the gym, but I hadn't had time because I've got to start dieting very soon because I've got to lose half a stone. If I can do half a stone, I'll be absolutely fine, but it's just going to lack time. But I'll make sure I've got done some Saturdays as well. So how's things with Jake?
Not too bad. It's just that whole thing. I'm getting to that point where I want the season to end.
Yeah, man. It's what it is, man. Yeah, I mean, it's just welcome to my show anyway. And
thank you for having me on.
Thank you very much. And if you like the videos, could you please smash the likes up and please leave comment sections down below. I've got 663 subscribers up to now, and I've been doing this since November for the second time because I only had 70 odd in November, you know.
Oh, wow, you really cracked it.
So I've done okay, and I'm absolutely enjoying the streams. And I'd like to say thanks very much for you guys to get a subscribe and following Jake as well. So, Jake, I mean, we're going to talk about some Sheff Wednesday. We're going to talk about your game on Saturday and also a bit of season so far. And it's not been very good reading, hasn't it? I mean, you had, is it 12 points deducted? You got 6 points back?
We got 12 points deducted, then we got 6 points back, and we'd only had 1 week out of the relegation for all season.
Wow. And was it Nick DeMarco who defended your team? Was it Nick DeMarco, the lawyer? Got you.
It was.
He did.
Yeah.
So we got him on our arbitration, trying to get a title going on, but we don't know if it's going ahead.
He is very good. His record is very good with football club. It just, I think the Newcastle takeover is more political than it is actually football politics, and that's where it's going to struggle.
Right, and do you think, in your opinion, I mean, it's just quick on Newcastle, do you think it's going to be approved? Do you think Nick DeMarco will win?
I can't see it. I can't see it because I want it to be approved because I want you to get rid of Castley because he's just sucking money out of that club. But at the same time, you see the protest by Manchester United fans and stuff like that, and it's like, yeah, I understand it, but you're still like near the top. You're still getting trophies. The club like Newcastle that hasn't had that should have that, and should have be able to have it that they can walk into a shop that's not Sports Direct, which is selling a Sunderland top. Kind of thing.
Sure. So you don't think, your opinion, you can't see it, but I tell you, if it doesn't happen, then I think our club will simply die. With Ashley and Ornan and Steve Bruce going to continue as manager. If he gets a new deal, I'll be absolutely fair. I mean, as far as I'm concerned,
I'm blown away with that. Yeah.
I mean, so it's what it is. We come back to Newcastle later on, but we're going to talk about your team. Talk about your teams, your channel as well. And I want to talk about is it Gary Monk as well? Because he took over, didn't he, from Steve Bruce, and
he did.
He got. Then you got to take a manager as well, and then you got in Darren Moore. Now,
well, we went. So I'll give you the timeline. It went Gary Monk at the start of the season, this season. Yeah. Then it went Lee Bullen, our assistant manager. Then it went Tony Pulis for 45 days. Then it went Tomo, our other caretaker manager. Then it went Darren Moore, and then it went Jamie Smith because Darren Moore been off due to COVID. So technically, we've had 6 different people in the dugout this season.
Wow. It's such a mess, isn't it?
And then throw on top of a point deduction on top of that. And it's just been disorganized chaos of the season.
Oh my God, that is not good. Because Sheff Wednesday are a terrific club. They're a big club. I mean, you have some great players. You have some great managers, such as Howard Wilkinson. I'm a lot of fan of him anyway. Ron Atkinson has taken over your club. You had David Pleat there as well. And, you have some good players like David Hurst. He's a Sheff Wednesday legend, banging the goals. Everyone loved them there, And you have some players. Trevor Francis was there as your manager. You had Chris Waddle, since then, your club's gone backwards, man. And I don't want to say that. Backwards.
It's a weird thing. Ever since we left the Premiership, it went down, down, and down, and then we got Milan back. Milan came in, bought us for £1, saved us from going got us up from League One to Championship. Had a couple of seasons where we had Milan trying to fund it, but not wanting to put a lot of money in, because we all knew at some point you wanted to sell it. He had a sale that was meant to go through with, I think it was the bloke who was part of the Azerbaijan Land of Fire thing, then found out that he wasn't a good person to take over, so that collapsed. And then we got our current owner, which is Dolphon Chansiri. Now, 2 seasons with him being our owner, we got back-to-back playoffs and playoff final in the first proper push. We gambled it, and this is the problem. If you gamble it, it's the only way it's going to work. But once it goes wrong, in our case, it gets worse. And it's not been right ever since we lost Carlo Carvalho as a manager, because it was a settled manager. It was consistent. And I think when you start losing that inconsistency, it goes downhill. So we had Josh Lukai, then we had Steve Bruce, then we had Gary Monk, and it's been manager after manager. So this appointment now, even if we go down, we have to stick with it, because that's the only way a football club will grow.
Absolutely. You cannot keep sacking managers sort of thing, you know what I mean, in that League One. You've got to give them time, you've got to get the young players coming through, and hopefully give them a couple of years, and then they just gonna be better and better players, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But you've got a cracking player. My guy comes on with chat called Aniruda, and we've got a question for you as well. But obviously he's got cricket training tonight, but I haven't forgot it. He's asking, how do you rate Jack Reach, and how good is he?
Reach is a very good player. He's our second highest transfer fee. I think it was about 5 million from Middlesbrough. And he's been quite consistent. He's been decent this season. But it's the same old with us. They can come to us, be really good and play well, but then they tail off. And I don't know if that's a competition thing. I don't know if that's how many managers he's had. In one season, he was running his own goal of the month competition because he was just hitting screamers from out of nowhere. And he's a free agent. And then you also have a look. We've got Jordan Rhodes, who's done it at every single club known to man. Come to Wednesday, we call for him as fans, we want him. It hasn't worked. Not worked at all. We spent about 10 million on him. And again, I know one of our biggest transfers is going to go on a free. We have 14 senior players who are free transfers, which is the likes of Kieran Westwood, a great goalkeeper. You got Adam Reach, you got Jordan Rhodes, you've got Tom Lees, a good defender. We have so many players, and we got some good youngsters coming through, but they've not been put on long-term contract. They're running the contracts out because I don't know why the ownership had decided to let them run it out. We have a really good lad called Liam Shaw. Liam Shaw has signed a pre-contract to go to Celtic. That's how much they think of him. And we're not going to make any money on him. Out of the entire time while Chansiri's been here, we've spent 39 million on players and we sold 7 million. That's it.
Flipping heck. That is
made no money.
That is not good. I mean, I'll go back to Jordan Rhodes. Cost you, what, £10 million? Is that a record signing, by the way?
Yep.
10 million for Jordan
Rhodes. And he's going to be a free agent in the summer.
Oh, my God. That is not good at all, isn't it? Sort of thing. Like I said, please smash the likes up and please leave the comment sections down below. So I've got some comments here. I've got Tom's Evening John. I've got Man United fan Claire. As usual, good evening, John. Hope you have a great evening. I am D. Claire, and I still want your cats as well. And she's got that whole Snowy, and she's absolutely lovely.
Oh, lovely.
She's absolutely lovely, but I still want her, man. But I'll not give up yet. And I've got Layla as well. Hi, Doug. This Sheff Wednesday is going to be tense.
That is going to be tense. I'm going to be watching it by my sofa because I don't think I'm going to want to watch the screen. I was doing that against Nottingham Forest, and we got lucky there. Should have gone 1-0 down due to a penalty, but Graben completely fluffed it. But the thing that I got is, you look at this relegation scrap. Everybody's had a chance to do it. Rotherham's had all these games that they'd have put back due to COVID, and they've not taken advantage of it. They could be well clear of this and be done. It could be just us, Derby and Wickham going down. It shows you how bad each team is with how many chances we've had, and we haven't been able to do it for whatever reason. I think out of all of us, if you look at who should go down, technically it should be Wednesday and Derby. I think Rotherham has actually done really well under the tiny budget, played to what they know, but it's that they've got a tiny squad, and that come back to bite them. We've had a lot of injuries, and I'm not saying I don't want Rotherham to go down because I want us to stay up, obviously. But when you look at it, you're looking at it as a neutral. That's it. But we were always going to struggle at the start of the season with having -12. But that then go back to the ownership, putting us in that position. A club shouldn't be put into financial difficulty with a transfer embargo because that's your finance side. But if you're spending 39 million, but you're not making any money on transfers, you're not balancing the books.
Sure.
And it's what's going to cost us if it does.
Yeah. And let's hope we don't go into administration as well. Because I spoke to two Derby County fans yesterday, if you watch my channel.
Yeah,
and, and they're quite worried as well, sort of thing. They're great guys, but they're quite worried as well if they go relegated. You know
well, the bloke who's trying to take them over tried to take us over. He put an offer in to buy us just before Christmas. He was working for the club as an advisor, and he tried to put an offer in for 30 million. And I think he tried to put an offer in for Cardiff, and the Cardiff one, they wanted the term paper to say where's the money, and he wouldn't put one in. I think there's a bit of risk going there, and I don't want to see another club go into administration and not as if like a Bury. Rivalries aside, like Sheffield United, Sunderland, you don't want it to happen to your rival because you know that club is a lifeline. If there's no Sunderland, there's no atmosphere, if you know what I mean. They are their club. Sheffield is lucky we've got two clubs, but Sheffield United and Sheffield Wednesday, it's the derby.
Yeah, man. I've heard your sort of thing. If you go any club's going to administration, I've never ever excuse me, seen a club going to administration and never got promoted at the same time. Happened to Leeds, nearly done it anyway, but they tried to appeal against those points, and unfortunately they were unsuccessful. I've got a guy from America, right, called not the Nick DeMarco, right, not the lawyer, but a different one called Nicholas DeMarco. Evening to you, Nick. Hope you're okay, my guy. Cheers for your newest fan from Baltimore, Maryland. Oh, nice. Great guy by sounds like he was a little one, but honestly, he is definitely Nick DeMarco, and that's not the lawyer one, but he's the American one. But thanks for joining us, Nicholas. And I've got Tom Swell reports claiming Newcastle expressing interest for Napoli's head coach Gennaro Gattuso to play Steve Bruce this summer.
That would be interesting. There'd be a kick up the backside with him.
Yeah, that's if a takeover happens, by the way. I cannot see Gattuso coming to Newcastle if there's no takeover. But one thing for certain, he's definitely leaving Napoli at the end of the season. And that's a shame because Napoli spends some cracking stuff in a minute in Italian football. I love Serie A football sort of thing.
I absolutely love that Inter won it this season and got Juventus. I just like that it finally got Italian football back.
I'm a Juve fan. Careful. The current support Man United sort of thing, but I love Juve anyway. But listen, I'm pleased with it. I mean, the other rivals as well, Derby Italia sort of thing. But I don't know if Juve's going to get in the Champions League now because they got to play Milan.
They're going to struggle.
Yeah, they got Milan and Inter home as well, mind you know.
Yeah, they're going to really struggle.
Oh no, but Ronaldo got us out of it again against Udinese the other day. One of them, if you know what I mean. But but that penalty was quite unlucky. It did struck his hand, but it wasn't ball. But you know they've done it again. I love Andrea Pirlo, but I just don't think he'll be there next season. Don't be surprised if Max Allegri comes back in the summer because there's been talk coming back to Juve, and I think that'd be great. I got Lille as well. Who do you think will win the Championship playoffs this season?
My dark horse is Barnsley.
Everyone's saying Barnsley.
You look at how their form's going. You look at how they're playing. When you look at the budget, they shouldn't be there. They shouldn't be there. They should be near us. But they've managed to make the change at the right time. Funnily enough, Darren Moore was linked with the Barnsley job at one point to get it. But he made them play. And if you can make your team play, it's that kind of thing. You can get them to believe. You get up. And I think having another team like Barnsley, Leeds and stuff, who have been there but not there for a long time, would be nice.
Wow. I tell you what, you're right. I mean, I heard that Barnsley plays a pressing game, free-flowing football pressing game. And it's a weird they're not used to, and also the teams just kind of handle them as well, sort of thing. Like, you know,
we were lucky when we got the win against us. It was Moore's first win for us. Was it his first or it might be his second? But it came at the right time. We had an international break, and the problem we had is, I think up to that game, Moore had been in charge for 2 weeks. So he hadn't done anything on the pitch. He hadn't done any training. So he had 2 weeks to go with them and get it right. And then that international break struck, and they got hit with COVID. And it's his second time having COVID as well. And the talks that he could be in the stand at the weekend. But personally, I'd rather him stay at home, watch it on the telly, be on the phone. His health is more important than my football club.
Absolutely. Health comes first before money. Health, your life as well. Because I've always put health before money anywhere. You know what I mean? Exactly. I'll let that arm as well. Everyone lost money, but at the end of the day, you can't beat your health. Health's the number one priority, sort of thing. And exactly. So, yeah, I mean, I just want to talk about Steve Bruce when he was at Wednesday, sort of thing. Was he happy with him? Or
we were actually really happy with him. We weren't happy with how long it took him for him to come in. We knew he got the job in November, but he wanted some time off. And a lot of people weren't happy about it. But at that time, I think he lost his dad or his mum. He's lost either both his parents during that time or something like that. And he wanted time to just proper think. But when he came in, it was fantastic. He actually came in on a transfer deadline day. So he immediately got to work. He brought in Dominic Iorfa, which was a 200k transfer, beat the defender from Wolves. He brought in, I think he brought in Josh Murphy at one point as well. He brought in all these players that we wanted to see, that we knew we needed. And he, in that first little bit of that season, nearly got us to playoffs. We were very close. I think we came mid-table that season.
Wow.
But then I think he was with us for 6 months, and then he gave an interview saying that he hasn't heard anything about the Newcastle talks. All he's going to do when he comes back from pre-season is take his dog for a walk. And the running joke at Wednesday it's been a long sodding dog walk that then.
Wasn't it just? Because he wasn't at the Wolves game, the Lincoln game, was he? I mean,
well, he left us 2 weeks before our season started.
I think, to me, coming from a Newcastle fan, I think that's an absolute disgrace what he's done, because the way he's treated you, right? You give him time off, right? And he goes and does that. And for me, I'm sorry, but that is disrespectful for Sheffield Wednesday. And I've said that a couple of years ago. And
we always call him Judas, and people always like, would you have him back? It's like, no. He's already shown his true colour. But Steve Bruce has done that throughout his career. And I don't know why we were all surprised, because he did it at Sheffield United, he did it at Palace.
Huddersfield. He got sat at Huddersfield.
Yeah. But when he knows there's a bit of money there, he'll go. And yes, it was his boyhood club. Yes, it probably was the right time for him to take it in terms of him, because he won't get another opportunity. But the problem is your football has been dire.
The wallet, it's shocking. I mean, if you look at our form, 4 wins in 26 games, that is relegation. He's lost the dressing room when Matt Ritchie had a right go at him on the training field, calling him a coward sort of thing. And then Bruce turned around to him and said, "Are you going to tell Lee Chandley?" Right? Yeah. But the players didn't know what to play for. They had them themselves. And St. Maximan, right? He had offered the long staffs as well. And Mike actually didn't do anything about this. Now about it, he still kept it on. My understanding is, right? I mean, Steve Bruce could be offered. I don't know if I'm wrong. I could be wrong on this. Could be offered a new contract.
Well, that would make sense, because he's a good championship manager. If you go down, Steve Bruce is the manager you want. For championship, he's very, very good. He's not had great success in the Premiership. He's a little bit like Neil Warnock. Can get the team there, but can't get them past that next little entry gap when keeping them in. And it's a weird one, Newcastle, because I don't understand why a man who's that hated wants to stay. Because I know he's one of the clubs that is making money.
Yeah, I mean, he's only on £1 million a season apparently, and the fact of the matter is, I mean, he's a head coach. He's got no say who comes in, who comes out, sort of thing, like, you know, which is just as well, because he hasn't got a clue. The guy has not got a clue. He plays 5 at the back, 3 midfield, 2 up top, and We got no midfield whatsoever. Johnson Shelby, he's finished. I'm telling you that now. Sean Longstaff plays on the wrong position. Miguel Almiron, when he came to us, he's number 10. He goes and plays on the left side.
On the wing?
Say again?
Why is he on the wing?
He's a number 10. Almiron is a number 10 because Steve Bruce hasn't got a clue. He doesn't know how to set up a formation. He hasn't got a clue. He doesn't study on the opposition. Yeah. Today, Brendan Rodgers come out there and he said that Steve Bruce is an outstanding manager and doing an outstanding job, right? And also he sets his team up very, very well. I've got respect for Brendan Rodgers. I put a tweet out earlier on, and I said, Brendan, how are you, man? You know, I've got respect for the guy, but don't say that because you know damn well he is the worst Newcastle manager
it's the manager grouping round, making sure manager don't get sacked, isn't it? Let's be honest, it's that whole kind of thing of manager grouping round because they don't want another manager to get sacked.
This is the thing. That's true. They talk him up, you know what I mean? But if he was that wonderful, if he was that great, even the pundits like Savage and Sutton, you know, and Gary Bongler as well, come out and say that Steve Bruce is the best thing since sliced bread for Newcastle, right? But if he was that great, why is he not being in for the Tottenham job?
Yeah. And the thing is, if he wanted to really prove himself, getting Sheffield Wednesday out of the Championship would have been a huge tick on his CV because that would have gone, you've got a big club out and can you keep them there now? At the time when that happened, and that's where I think all our things went wrong, really. Like, it come out this week that we failed to pay our players again. This is like the third time this season. I think they're due March and April wages. Now, we don't know if it's late payment but I kind of understand that with the whole situation in the world with the pandemic. No one making money. Our like 37% of our money income was from the gate. And it's very difficult to try and replace that. Wow. And you look at what we've had. It can't have been cheap to pay Monk off. It can't have been cheap to pay Pulis off, even though he wasn't there for long. And this whole situation, if we go down, it's due to the player, but I understand why the players are underperforming if you're having to learn a new system, a new setup. Because people always go, players should automatically know how to play that. Well, no, if they've played one way or two different ways under the manager, but it's very similar, it's very difficult for a player to learn that again. Kind of thing, you know what I mean? It's gonna be tense. It's gonna be tense, and
yeah, man.
We should have buried it. We should have beat Bristol City, but we missed the penalty. And I think we are the only team out of 114 teams that have not managed to win a game from going behind out of the entire football.
Wow. I mean, you're not the only one, mate, because you only come back from a goal behind to win a game. That was the other week against Burnley. I think it's 27 games he played, and we only came back and won a game once. That's shocking. I mean, I tell you what, he's breaking records, Bruce. I'm telling you, breaking all records. Even then, he scored his first goal in the Premier for 5 years, and it's his first of the season for a long, long time. You know what I mean? Breaking records for the wrong reasons. So I got Tom Clare against Snowstone put John, my friend. See, look, he's trying to get me to support Man United. She thinks I'm a secret red, but nah, she knows that. And literally, Derby fan, he will win, stay up. Derby is in the best position and favourites to do it, but our form's awful. 6 straight defeats. I can see any result.
Well, this is interesting because I had this conversation with us the other day. We are actually the team in form going into this last game. We are got the best form anyway. But all season, any team that have come against us who has had bad form have managed to get their form back on track and go on a run after us. Like we had it where I think we had Luton, I think we had Blackburn, I think we had Birmingham, all had 5 or 4 on the trot losing, and then they won when they played us. So that worried me. That does worry me. When I saw their form, I was like, that typical Wednesday. And for us, I think it's mental. I don't think it's lack of ability by players. I think it's just a mental switch. And I think if you're neutral, the Derby Wednesday game is going to be very good because it's going to be so gun-ho. Every player's going to be going for it. If Rooney could have registered himself to be on the bench on this game, he would do. But I also think they screwed up by appointing Rooney. They went for the big name. I don't think he's a good manager.
Well, he's sitting up pulling up trees in a minute anyway. He started well, but of late, he lost 6 straight defeats. I mean, he won 1 out of the last 5 games, 1 win, 2 draws, 2 defeats, and come to the championship table. But you know what it is? I think all you got to do, you just got to go there, just play the biggest 90 minutes of your life. Give it all. Put your ball on the line. You've got to show it.
Here's the thing for you then. We haven't beaten Derby since 2006 at their place. The last time we got relegated from the Championship, it was against Crystal Palace, and it was very close in that one. I think we got relegated on 47 points.
Wow.
Mike Dean was the referee for that game.
Oh, don't talk to me about
the referee for this game is Mike Dean. It's not lining up for us.
I'll tell you what, man, he's the worst referee in my book. I'm telling you. I mean,
yeah, we've got Mike Dean, and he's the same referee that sent us down last time.
And I still like him as a sort of thing. I mean, he's just arrogant, and he thinks that he's the king, but he's not. Oh, yeah, he's absolutely muppet, that referee. I mean, he's mostly 55-year-old, and that's why our referees, our officials, are not the best refs in the world, because
the most unfittest as well. Yeah. I watch a lot of like Bundesliga, Serie A and stuff, and their referees are fit. There's not many of them got a beer belly. You watch our ones, it's like, I think you need to get some time at the gym.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, you're right. I got Ethan, Newcastle fan. I would love to see Sheffield Wednesday win against Derby and Rotherham win their game, which will keep them up.
Ish. No, I think it will relegate us. Even if we win, I think that will still relegate us.
Yeah, because if you both win, then Rotherham stays up.
Yeah, because they've got better goal difference. We could do with Cardiff like smashing them like 8 to 10-0, then do it. The thing is, I can see this going to one of those games where we all know what's going on, and because there's no fans in the stadium, you're going to hear those calls off the benches saying what the scores are, which is going to be quite fascinating, kind of thing. If Rotherham get a good result, and like say it's 1-1 and they get a corner and they get it and we're winning 3-0 or something, we're down. But the thing is, both teams are down that are playing on that day, and that will be interesting to see what happens. I think I think for Derby it'll be the first ever time in the third tier as well.
I don't think since 1986, 20. They haven't been in the third tier football since 1986.
Jesus.
And that club, you got Pride Park. It's a stunning stadium. I've been there twice with Newcastle, and I tell you what, the people of Derby are really good people. Do you know what I mean? And I go well with Derby fans.
You look at the team going down. Everyone's saying they don't want Wednesday and Derby to go down because of good away days, the good fans. And I had that, and I was speaking to someone and said, yeah, but you're being really disrespectful to Wickham and Rotherham. Their fans are good. They might not have... Rotherham actually got a stunning stadium, actually. Their new stadium, it puts Sheffield Wednesday's ground to... Yeah. I'm not going to say what I'm going to say because it's our stadium needs a big makeover, but where it's based, you can't expand it because you've got houses either side. You're built over a sodding river, so you can't really do anything. But everyone who keeps turning around and saying, like, oh, this team did this team, and it goes back to that whole stupid comment Graham Souness said. The fans don't deserve it. We didn't deserve having -12. That's our owners. We don't run the club. As fans, we don't have a say. How your club, and I love how people go, oh, but it's our club. No, we're just the supporters. We're not owning it. We don't pay people. It might be ours in our blood, in our spirit, in our kind of community, but it's not ours. Until you get a situation where you can say it's your club and it's fan owned, that kind of it's my club needs to stop, because it's not. It's always going to be somebody else's. We're just passengers.
Unbelievable. I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's the fans' club, to be fair. You know, you pay your money, simple as that. And without football, it's not. Without the supporters, it's as simple as that.
But it has actually shown that this season, with no fans, they can try and get gone anyway.
And you got the owner sort of thing kicking himself to come make them money sort of thing. Look at Mike Ashley. He's got excuses now because he ain't said there wouldn't be money to spend because of the pandemic. Excuse me, you got £121 million to stay up in the Premier League.
I'm sorry, he probably made a lot of money during the pandemic doing online sales for Sodding Sports Direct.
You're right. Well said. But Ashley's just a greedy git.
He is.
He thinks money. One of these days, greed is going to kill him. I can tell you that. I've got Ridley as well, Derby fan, and he's got quite a few comments as well. Same for us. We have some decent players individually, but we don't play as a team enough. We don't have the mentality, which we grew up behind. We lose. Same for you lot. Should be a good game.
Oh, it should be a very good game.
And Rotherham and Wednesday have to win, or else they are down. Derby can get away with a draw in the best position by some distance. And he likes Sheffield Wednesday. I want to stay up, but not the Spencer Derby. It's a shame it come to this two big star clubs, but just ran poorly. You look at the clubs, right? You got Hughes, Derby, you got Nottingham Forest. You know, they're all down there.
Yeah.
Right? They're huge clubs. I mean, Forest won the
Forest were very close to becoming in this fight up until recently. Like, they managed to get a little bit of a run going and get themselves at the table. It could have been at one point Derby, Forest, Wickham, if we could have got our finger out.
Exactly. Totally agree. I mean, I tell you what, some of the clubs in the Championship going to be there for a long, long time.
Oh, yeah.
Forest, I see what you're trying to say. You got Blackburn won the Premier League. Stokes won being the Premier for a long, long time. You got Middlesbrough.
Stoke, the famous kind of European, can you do it in a rainy night in Stoke comment? And they're in the Championship. They were such a Premiership staple holder. And you never thought they were going to be there. The thing you got is you're going to have teams like Norwich, West Brom, who are always going to do this yo-yoing.
Yeah.
And probably Sheffield United now, if they can figure it out. I think Sheffield United have got to be careful. They could do us and go down again.
Yeah.
Because they seem to be running badly. We are.
Yeah. You don't want that, man. But you know what it is. They got like parachute payments, Sheffield United, West Brom, I think they got to do, and Fulham as well. Hope maybe us as well, you know. But I tell you something, we get relegated. One thing sure I'm going to say it, and I'm going to be clear on this, and I hope people listening to us are about to see it. We will not get back up again as long as Mike Ashley is the owner of this club.
I can't say you're doing it straight away.
Nah, it'll take us years. That's why we need to take over. It'd be easier to buy the club in the Championship, apparently. Right?
And the stupid thing is, Sunderland, with their owner, they could start coming up quite fast.
Yeah, and I think Sunderland, you know, I mean, I hope it does happen, but I think now Lincoln are on form. They got beat yesterday, didn't they? They got beat yesterday, and you know, and I think Sunderland is. They're the ones. If they get back in the Championship, and we get in the Championship as well, we haven't beat Sunderland for 7 games, and I can tell you something now: we'll not get back up the Premier for the next, like you just said, in the next few years. And you said straight away, unless Ashley gets out of the club, we're going to be in Championship for a long, long time. We could end up doing Sunderland now. We could end up doing a Sunderland. I got Trues, Hayes, John. Hope you're right. I'm absolutely champion, and I hope you are too. We are on NUFC on run. Atto, just a lazy owner who doesn't give a shite. Yeah, you're right. True. It's true. And then, what can you tell us about a new perspective?
What can I tell you? Be wary. Be very, very wary. He came out with all the great stuff on Twitter with us saying he wants to do this, do that. He tried to buy us for 25, 30 million. Our owner said no. But he suddenly went from the team. He was an advisor. This is the problem because our owner is from Thailand. I think we have a barrier language situation with him at times where he'll mix his words up. And so he'll say something, but then forget what he said. So 1 month he was an advisor, next month he wasn't anything. But Eric Alonso, from what I've seen, apparently had this big agency thing that had all these players on it. After his takeover with us failed, that website went down and was under construction. It killed it. It just killed the website. He put up another website up with the similar thing. But the thing is, what I've heard is that the bloke who he's meant to be getting the money off to do it has apparently turned around and said he's not part of this takeover, so he doesn't know why he said it. I'd be very, very worried if I were you, because his heart might be in the right place and he might want to get into football. He might want to try and do it. And he does have family that can do it. But you're looking at what he's saying. I can spend 150 million there. I can do this. No one can spend 150 million in the Championship because of financial fair play. So I don't get where he can get that figure from. Like, you're only allowed to lose 38 million. And one of his statements saying Rooney will be kept in manager job because he's a legend. Well, legends don't make good managers. Managers who kind of thing. You could be a legend all your life. Look at Phil Neville. He's at Miami. Didn't have a great start. Look at Gary Neville. He went to Valencia. It didn't work. Legend of the club, not a manager. This is the difference. And I'd be very, very worried. If it goes through, congratulations, hats off to you. And if it works, I'd be delighted for it to work, because Derby fan base deserve that. But I'd be very careful if you tried to already buy us and Cardiff, and now you're the third one. And I don't trust how many clubs they keep going to, because Cardiff weren't going to be a club to sell. We could have been a club to sell if it was the right money. But what I don't get is, why try and buy us for 25, 30 million when our owner in the past has said he wants 150 million? That's what he valued it as. But pay Derby 50 million.
Don't get it. I don't
the
get it.
Numbers don't add up to me. And why would Mel Morris take 50 million for a Derby club? I know they've not got a lot of money at the minute, and I know the funds are tight, and I know he put a lot of his own money in. But surely Derby County is worth more than 50 million, just for the history.
Wow, that's not good, man. I mean, you know what these people are like. I can remember Eric Alonso, I think that's about two months ago, he's on the Jim White show with Simon Jordan. And he said, when he's asked about Rooney, he said that Rooney is a legend of the club, and he wants to work around Rooney.
He's not a legend. He was an on loan player. Then they bought him via 365 betting or 32 Red betting company, because they paid for the transfer fee and his wages.
Wow.
And my thing is, how is that allowed in football? How can your sponsor pay for a player?
Exactly. Absolutely strange, that. But you got to be so careful. You just said it there. They come in the right intentions, their heart's in the right place, but be wary. And
look at our owner. Our owner took us over. He wanted us in the Premiership by 2017 on our 150th anniversary. Look at where we are now.
Exactly. You could be heading down, and we don't want that for you, so Derby. And I got really swear, I'm worried. The guy just sounds dodgy, unprofessional. He's going to need for help for sure. There are bigger problems at the club coming than the manager, though. Mel Morris needs to sell. And we talked about Mel Morris yesterday with the Derby fans. And to me, for what I've heard, that he interferes with the manager. So he wouldn't dare do it with Frank Lampard, though, because he would not allow it.
This is what we think Chanseri's done in the past with some of our managers. We think he's done that. We haven't got proof of it, but we have heard that he's had it before, where he come into the dressing room after a game. I think Ross Wallace did an interview, and he said that he came down and he said, my kid's crying because of you lot losing. It's like, well, your kid doesn't own the club, you do. If you bought it for your child, that's great, but that's a plaything. Run it as a business. And I can't find anything what business he's done for his family, because the Chanceries, they own John West Tuna, the big fishing companies in Thailand. And it just you worry when you get these owners in, but there's no British owner these days that's going to put the kind of money in the people want. I think sometimes it's to say, either A, I've got a football club, see how my club, or C, to show how it's done, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's very, very interesting.
I'd be very worried for him. I think any Derby fan with it, I'd be very, very worried. Have you ever seen Kieran Maguire on Twitter, the football finance?
Yeah.
He said something interesting on one of the shows I watch on YouTube. And he said to him, look at how the Manchester City deal got done. It was all done in private. It got done in private. You only heard about it on the day the takeover happened. If they're talking about it, They're bigging it up. They're trying to find money. They're trying to hype it up for themselves. I think if they're talking about it in public, you've got an issue. Ours didn't get talk about in public. I think we got about a week before it happened, and then it was done.
That's how it should be done. That's how it should be done. Quietly. Don't big it up on Twitter or social media.
Don't even release it. If somebody in the club says, "Oh, we should release it," no, you keep it quiet till everything's done. Because you're allowed to turn around to the EFL and say, "Look, we want to do it, but we don't make it public yet," and let them do the checks behind. And that's how it should be. Absolutely. No club should turn around and get hope up for fans and go, "We're going to have this big owner. We're going to have this like the bloke who tried to buy you, then went to try and buy Derby."
Doesn't add up, doesn't it? Doesn't add up a lot. Crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. And I've got Jules again, Newcastle fan with me, and I agree with him. If I take over falls through and PIF for Man U says being waved through on fish of the Premier League. And you know what it is? I'm going to keep it on there for a bit. Jules is 110% right. Arsenal's being watched by Daniel Ek, Spotify, right? I hope Nick DeMarco and Mike Ashley watch that very, very carefully. Because if that goes through, right, our Storm was going to arbitration anyway. I still think it'll go past. It'll pass for me because at the end of the day, the Big Six are telling the Premier League what to do, and they do not want Newcastle to be the big hitter in the Premier League. And I'll tell you something now. The Big Six didn't get their own way in the Super League, right? They got caught out. They got found out, caught out.
They made it public.
They're the beg and cry. Look, I'm in the same mistake, For me, open a lot of can of worms, And I'll tell you something else as well. I hope Nick DeMarco and Mike Ashley really steams into the Premier League because they got a lot left in a minute.
Yeah.
If
they want to have a bit of good faith with other teams in the Premiership, especially when they had this meeting to say about what was going on, the whole situation is I'm getting to the point, even with Wednesday, even if Wednesday go down, I'll still cover Wednesday, I'll still do it. But there was a time where I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go support my non-league team because they need the money more than Wednesday do. Because that's where the money should be going. It should be going to grassroots, but it doesn't.
Totally agree. I mean, Andy Ruda, he comes to me channel, right? He's only 13, right? He made a damn good point. The lesser clubs should get help because I'm going to come on to I'm going to touch on the Super League, right? I mean, the Super League, I'm glad that's been knocked on the heat.
Because
that came in, it would have killed football further and it would have killed clubs further. The Premier League may as well become the Championship. The Championship may as well become League One. League One may as well become League Two.
And then the Vanarama Conference should be League 3.
Correct. It would have killed football forever. And the Premier League, I'm pretty sure, would have been so happy about that. They would have been rubbing their hands thinking, I can make some money here, sort of thing. You know what I mean? That's why I'm glad Super's been knocked off. Now, I hope now, excuse me, the Premier League, no, Newcastle United, rip them a good one, because I don't think the Premier League want to go to court or arbitration, really, because they don't want to get their dirty hands washed in linen if I pronounce that beat. But could just pass the thing now, pass it. Because I've also hearing that Manchester City is going to take the Premier League to court as well.
Well, the thing you got is the Super League, and the problem is with the Super League, it's not dead. This is the thing. They were just to start. And that's the problem. They already said they're going to try and get it through one way or another, even if it means them making their own Champions Leagues. They will find a way because they are that greedy, rich people that want it. That's the problem. But the more fans you see doing the whole protest, getting a game called off, it hits people like the Premiership where it should hit them in the wallet. You look at every other league in the country, they're all run by one government body. Serie A, Serie B. Avizia B, Bundesliga, France, Liga. The UK is the only league where it's Premier League, then it's EFL. Shove them all under the same umbrella and have everyone on the level playing field.
Well said. And that is how it should be. Because for me, I mean, if this goes through the Super League and you said it could happen, they're going to find a way. If it happens, then, Jake, let me tell you something, right? My season ticket at Newcastle's going back because football, for me, is dead. It's killed. And they don't care about us. They care about the top 6. There are 14 clubs in the Premier League. And I hope people who are watching me channel, right, will back us up on this, right? it will kill football. The 14 clubs do not exist because the Premier League, Richard Masters, Gary Hoffman do not give a toss about the other 14 clubs. Look at the top 6. But I hope our takeover gets approved. If it does, then we're the ones who should be celebrated as we won the Champions League. Let me tell you that for sure.
And if you look at that top 6, how did Tottenham get in there? We won more stuff than them. Derby won more stuff than them. Aston Villa's won more stuff than them. How did they get in?
They're not even in the top 6 now, Spurs. They're 5th, but they weren't in the top 6 at the time. I also thought even in the top 6 as well. They're 10th.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Really the nail on the head there. Both owners gambled.
Yeah, both gambled future and tried to reach the promised land. Correct. Can't do that. The little 6, or little 6 in this opinion, Big 6 is a load of nonsense. Just because they're up there now, don't mean they will forever. Big 6 in the 70s, including Derby and Leeds. I'll tell you what, bring us back to the 70s football. Get that back. Because I'll tell you something now, man. It was more entertaining.
Outborn back end of 89, but I've seen a lot of 70 football YouTube clips. It just looks like it was just a good fun. And the thing is, none of this kind of, I hate you on Twitter. They just went to the pub and had a drink.
Exactly.
I know that's not what you should do as a professional footballer now, but they just went, yeah, all right, I tried to break your leg, but you're standing, aren't you? And bought him a pint.
Exactly. See some great tackles there. Vinnie Jones there in those days, yeah. Ron Chopper Harris, yeah. Orders there. Norman Hunter, those days. I'll tell you something now. If they were playing today now in the Premier League, half of them would not live. I'm telling you, they'd be sent off every week. That's the problem.
They'd be sent off, but there's also, you see so many players be like, not know how to tackle. Like, the art of tackling now, you might as well just make it like basketball where you touch them and it's a travelling event because you don't get anything.
Yeah. Non-contact sport, mate. That's all it is, Jake. Yep. Non-contact sport. And I'll tell you what, bring the 70s or 80s back. They were much, much fun then. And if people haven't watched it, right, I suggest to watch it on YouTube because at the end of the day, it's a lot different than it is now. It's all about money. It's money.
Well, have you seen it? Bournemouth, they now have, I think it's from their under 16s and not allowed to head the ball.
Wow.
Because of the whole kind of, they're looking into the whole concussion stuff. But the people who got the concussion stuff are players who play with the big leather heavy balls. That's why they had head problems, not the plastic things you get these days. Yeah, I do get it, and I understand it needs to be looked at and looked at properly because players' health does need to be looked after later on. But you're talking about players who were playing in like the 60s and 70s where the ball was completely different.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, there was no celebrations those days. Just score a goal, shake hands, run up. That's it. That's it. But I do love celebrations. But
you can't even do that now with VAR.
It's ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the football's just gone down to the shooting. And let me tell you, I'm 52 in August now. Believe you and me.
Yeah.
But I don't 52. So it's what it is. So I've got tours again, and the orders coming in. They will help the community around Newcastle area. That's a flipping good point there. Newcastle gets takeover. According to Amanda Staveley, there's going to be new training facilities, right? There's going to be also build the community as well. They're going to build around like a Manchester City type complex as well. And I tell you what, that is what we need. You know, we're not going to be there to spend money on players, sort of left, right, centre. It's going to be uprooting the training facilities. I don't know if you've seen our training facilities.
It's not great. I spoke to Toon FC a lot, James Sharkey, and Sharkey says it.
Yeah. Shocking. Absolutely shocking, man. I mean, that's the worst. And you tell us we're a Premier League. If I was a player, the first or a manager, I don't just look at the stadium, I will look at the facilities as well. Yeah. Rafa Benitez has been calling for years, and he said, look, we need a new training facility. If we don't, it'd be no good.
Well, look at us. We had it. We signed Leon Best on loan at some point, and he was at us before, like really started his career. He said, oh yeah, I've been here before, nothing changed. I'm like, that, Gary, because the training ground should have changed. Why is it not changed? Because our training ground is ridiculous. It floods all the time.
Unbelievable. That's the first thing I'd do, because you need to look at the training facilities and this and that and all that sort of thing, and that's what they want. You know, don't be like, oh, Newcastle are a magnificent club.
It's not just about the players, though, is it? Or the fans kind of thing. You've got to build it around everything. You've got to have it that you've got that community outreach. So say, on a Wednesday night, you've got a youth team thing but the youth team's for anyone, not just for like the under 16s. It's the youth team, but then you've got someone like Alan Shearer coming to say hello and give a talk about it. That's what the kind of thing needs, because there's such a disconnect with, I think, football fans in general. I think a lot of fans are feeling disconnected, but you go down the lower leagues, League One, League Two, the connection's there because they need the fans. Exactly. Championship, Premiership, they need them, but they don't need them as much.
That is the problem. They just think about themselves, you know what I mean? And how much you can make every week, do you know what I mean? Which is a shame, but I can remember back Kevin Keegan when we saw Andy Cole back in 1994, right? I think it's 94, no, 95, and to Man United. And all the fans come out and question Kevin Keegan and say, what is that Andy Cole? Kevin Keegan come out and explain to them why he had to do it. And then the fans understood in the end. We clapped at him. That's what's all right. You're not going to see Steve Bruce come out and tell us why he's so Max Man. It ain't going to happen. I don't think Ashley will let him do that at all whatsoever.
Oh, he's just a puppet. At the end of the day, got Mike Ashley's hand up his jacksy.
That's all he wants, a puppet. Just one yes man, the manage the club. And that's what, and Steve is quite happy.
And that's basically what we've had at time. We've had it at a time where people have tried to say this needs to happen, this needs to happen. And then the moment they've gone against him, it's gone like thing. But I think our situation is a little bit weird because we haven't got an owner in the country at the minute. We have an owner that is remote owning because he's in Thailand.
Is he in Thailand now?
Yes, he's been in Thailand during the whole pandemic. So during this, he's remote ownership in. So I'm not using it as an excuse, but that can't be difficult when beforehand he was coming over every like 6 months, saying 6 months here and 6 months back kind of thing. Then you got that time difference. You got like all the interviews he's done for managers have been over Zoom.
Fair enough. That's so well. I can understand why he stopped there because of the pandemic. I can get that, but if it wasn't a pandemic and didn't come over, then that's not acceptable for the fans.
Well, we got the most expensive tickets in the Championship, and he's not said anything about tickets for League One. He said if you've put them down, surely I'm going to have to put them back up if I go up. It's like we're a Sheffield club. We're not a London. Like for a home shirt, it's 60 quid.
What?
We make our home shirts are made in house. It's by a company the owner owns, but still 60 quid for a Championship shirt.
League One soon.
Yeah. Oh damn! I'm more be Championship.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not spending 60 quid on the Sheffield Wednesday shirt next season. I will because I'm a mug.
I totally agree. You're not in London. Definitely not in London.
No.
And Jules again got two comments here. There will always be a gap. That's talking about the big six, but they should close in his opinion. I totally agree. And just say, well, you know, and they are so good. We're not and so and so. But I will quickly come on to what Benji Rogers said. I don't know if you heard this, or I might have said it. He said that he's picking up Steve Bruce, saying how wonderful job he's doing. Well, he's not the only one, by the way. I mean, you've got Gabby Bonhall, you've got Savage and Sutton, Jermaine Genius. All these managers, all these pundits who come out and say that Steve has done a wonderful job in Newcastle with limited budget.
Oh, sorry. No, he hasn't. At all.
Nah, he spent £100 million, right, in 2 seasons, right? And Rafa Benitez wasn't given £100 million at all.
Rafa Benitez should have had £150 million. You give that man that money, you're top 6. You're making Europe week every season, at least. You're pushing someone like a Chelsea or an Arsenal out that way.
You're right. You're right. I mean, Ashley has pushed Rafa away. He's pushed him out of the club, and he's done it well. He's done it well. Do you know what I mean?
If these people take over for you, the first thing they go do is they go get Rafa Benitez back.
Exactly. Unfinished business. I mean, for me, I have 3 managers I have. He'll be one of them, right?
Yep.
I definitely take Mauricio Pochettino if he doesn't do it at PSG. He is a Premiership player. He's not a French league manager. He's Premiership all the way. And what I take, and it's not going to be everyone's favourite cup of tea, but I take Diego Simeone all day long.
He would be interested in the Premiership. I think with Poch, he needed to go somewhere where he could try and win a trophy, and that trophy needs to be the Champions League.
Yeah,
no one can go take that Spurs job because Spurs fans, as much as I love them, You're never gonna have that kind of thing. You're not built for that. Like, you rely on Harry Kane. You've got the money to go buy top strikers. Why aren't you? You will never get back to where you were when you had the likes of Pot, the likes of Redknapp, because again, owners don't want to put money in.
That's the thing.
And for them, they got an Arsenal situation. They just built a big thick-off stadium, which you can eat all their transfer fund for the next couple of seasons. That's why Arsenal are now a mid-table team.
They are, because they got Mikel Arteta as manager at the minute. So don't get us wrong.
He might get sacked if he loses in the Europa.
Villarreal as well. So yeah, I've got best thing loads to do on me tweets on channel as well soon. I've got to try and get a Leicester City fan tomorrow. We'll talk about tomorrow. I need to about our game. I'm not going to do the press conference reaction this week because at the end of the day, it's just the same old crap. I'll be wasting my time doing it if I'm honest with you.
You might as well just put one up from like 2 weeks ago and just call it what it is and just change the team name while you do it.
Exactly. I'd rather do that sort of thing, you know what I mean? And it's just crazy, man. And then I've got to do player ratings as well. I've done it on Saturday sort of thing after the game. We're going to get whipped off Leicester, don't get us wrong. I've got to choose again. An independent investigation is needed to police Premier League.
It won't do, though. The Premier League is always going to police itself. And the only way it works, and for the Premier League, you can thank Tottenham and Alan Sugar for going, I want to have my satellites in. That's where it started. And the problem is, you can complain. What gets me is that a couple of weeks ago, we were all condemning the Big Six about how they're leaving, how they shouldn't be going it for the fans. Yet on the sideline, Guy and co were trying to get the right for it. You can't be both. It needs to have an independent media organisation. It needs an independent panel, and it needs to be policed by football people, not money men. Like the idea of getting fans on the boards, that's great. But who are you going to get? Mick from down the road or Callum, who's been a lifelong, but he's 90 odd and he's lost it a little bit? Who's that fan going to be? Because you've got to vote for it, you said.
Yeah.
You can't stab anyone.
Totally agree. Honest to God, man, at the end of the day, I mean...
I like the idea of it.
It's a good idea. People want to know they're not interested because...
And I like how people keep saying the 51 plus rule. Like, that won't work in England. I think it's like 7... I think Kieran Maguire said it was like 7 million or something stupid they would have to give away to do that. That works. You have to change the structure as a whole. Don't just go and put it. If you're going to do it properly, have the right people, and get it right. Because football used to be about supporting your club, watching them kick the ball, family, friend, community. It's all about money, money, money. That's all they care about.
All the time. Is what's needed.
Never happened.
Never happened. The Premier, I mean, they got ideas, but they're so behind. Behind.
Well, what the Premiership got? It's called the Barclays Premiership, so it's ran by a bank.
Yeah.
And we all know what bankers are.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. I can't believe that, but they need to get their house on order. One thing I will say, right, if you get this takeover happening, then believe you and me, like I said earlier, it's going to be a celebration for all of that. I'll tell you what, it'll be a holiday. It'll be a couple of days off.
You're gonna whoever gets in Newcastle, it needs to be say we need to have a public holiday.
Exactly.
So no one's going to work. Everyone's going to be cut.
Exactly. And I think Richard Masters will resign. I think he'll resign if he win it. He'll resign. Let me tell you, because at the end of the day, he didn't block it, but he wouldn't pass it as well. The problem is, right? They messed Amanda Staley and the PIF PCP people messed them boot, and they couldn't wait for any longer. So they were hoping that they walk away. The Premier League are laughing, right? They offered the arbitration, right? But they did not walk away. The deal is still on that table.
The only thing you've got with Nick DeMarco is ruthless, and he's ignorant, and he will not give up. He will make sure he got the right thing. He'll have a loophole. He'll have this. He'll have that. And if I'm him, I turn around and said, right, you nearly just lost your Big Six kind of thing. You turned that down and said, oh, you can't have money. So you can't have it now that I can't have money because I'm the little club.
Absolutely
and not being disrespectful to Newcastle, but in the eye of them, they do see it as the little club. Anyone below, what is it, my mate always says, if you're at the Watford gap and you go past that, you're a little club.
Correct. Totally agree. And
make sure you've got your passport.
Yeah. I mean, thing is, where Di Marco, he would not have taken this case on if he thought it was going to happen. We were going to win the
Well, he did the Derby case, he did our case, he did the QPR case. And the QPR case, with the QPR case, QPR are still paying that.
Yeah.
And
unbelievable.
My thing is, I'm a Celtic fan via my missus. My missus is a Celtic fan.
Yeah,
what the whole thing with the Rangers thing, yes, it's up. Yeah, well done. You stopped the 10 in a row. Go celebrate. Celtic, Rangers got caught doing wrong. They got punished and took down to the lower leagues and told to rebuild. Why is that not happening in the Premiership? Because they lose that.
They lose the big six, and they did not want to lose the big six. But Newcastle take over and make them more money every single day. Especially if we win things, you know what I mean? And they will make them money. The Saudis make money.
It'll be the big seven then, because you'll get that into that big six.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, if this takeover doesn't happen, I can tell you something now. The Saudis will walk away. They will walk away from the government, UK government. Yep. Don't forget, they make money.
And it'll crash.
Make money, do you know what I mean? And it just go blood like that. So Boris Johnson will have to step in, right, and intervene and say, get this takeover happen now. Otherwise, if they don't, all the machineries and that are just going down.
Well, have you heard the thing with Man United? One of the reasons Man United won't sell, right? They're valued at 3 to 4 billion, right?
Right.
They stay for another 10 years, it's a 10 billion club.
Wow. 10 billion club. And yet, I can tell you that if the Saudis buy the club, if they buy Man U and it gets passed, then I tell you what, if I was Mike Ashley, I'll take the Premier League to the absolute cliff. In fact, I'll sue them for as much money as well. Do you know what I mean? And
I think if like say the Saudis did that, or if your thing doesn't go, I think Newcastle fan, the only way you've done the walking out, you've done the not buying the shirts, you've done that. The only way it happens is that St. James's Park is empty. You go to your non-league games at weekends instead. You're watching it on your phone, but you don't give the man any money. If anybody wants to do like the protesting for the big six or so, stop buying your season tickets, stop buying your kits. Mm-hmm. If you want to buy it for your kids, yeah, that's fine. But remember, it's just your kids, because you can't say no to your kids.
Definitely not.
If you want to do it, fair enough. But
you want to go to the games, you want to buy a season ticket, we're not going to stop you. You carry on. At the end of the day.
Well, this is the thing. It's these Man United fans that protested on Monday, not on Saturday, or what? Sunday. If they then go back and sit in a game and watch a game of football, there's no point doing the protest.
Well said. Absolutely. Totally agree. But again, what can you do? And it's just crazy, man. But I think they get banned anyway. They get some. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be easy to find who they are. They're going to get banned. And I've got Ridley here. Do you think it could be the first goal wins on Saturday?
If Derby score the first goal, we're down. I'm putting it that way. I do not think Wednesday got the mental bottle to get another goal. If they do, it'll be the third time all sodding season.
Totally agree, man. Totally agree. And I got Anaruda here as well. He's the
one. He won't reach. He'll be a good player. He needs a little bit of pushing at the time, but he can play left back, left wing, right wing. He's a bit of an all-rounder.
Yeah.
It'd be a good player, and he'd be free. So right up anyone's kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah, there you go. That's Aaron Rood as well.
And if you want Jordan Rhodes, he's free as well, so you might as well take both our record signings off me.
Yeah. I think there's another championship club for me, sort of thing. Like, you probably end up going to who knows. I got Ridley again. Big 6-1 shot close, disgusting really. Also a shambles of a club, mid-table. What history do Spurs have? Derby have more European pedigree.
Yeah, they do.
Big 6, your close shot, we'd be saying that. I mean, if it happens sort of thing, I'm done with football. Do you know what I mean? With these tickets going back,
Arsenal because mid-table now. Like, you look at that top 6, it goes Man City, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea,
Arsenal, Spurs.
Arsenal Spurs, right? Take Spurs, put Spurs there, but they could go back to being Spursy, right? Arsenal mid-table now. You see Everton and Leicester more of a top 6 than those two.
Yeah, I agree. And I've got tools here. We need people in, so Bruce will hear about cabbage and pies. In other words, we need fans in so we give Bruce a hard time that we don't want him. And I've got, again, yes, we need him. You know what? You got to go on this channel, man, because he is absolutely amazing. He's a championship guru, this guy. He's only 13. And
I loved him. Well, to be fair, I might have to go to my League One guru, which is Napper's Cobb Vlogs, because he knows everything. So I have this stupid. I'm in a WhatsApp group because at the start of the season we did a Football League vloggers thing podcast, and everyone couldn't get the times right to get it right in the end, so we had to kill it. But the amount of times that we used to go on, it's like me, Door on Tour, Cobb Vlogs, Lee Charles TV, Dapper 18. All really good content creators. If you've heard any of them, go sub to them. They're great. If you want someone who knows League One, you want someone who knows Championship, all this stuff, they're amazing. But the thing is, these things work, and you can get them to work, and coming onto these show people that us as fans, there's a different way of doing it. We are the new journalists as such, because you don't read the paper anymore. You go on Twitter to see the latest thing. The YouTube space has actually finally given clubs, fans, a chance to vent without having that fear of backlash. AFTV get it, but at the same time, they're allowed to. They're allowed to have the grievances. Nothing should be unable to be talked about. If you've got a problem with your club, fair enough. But your club shouldn't then turn around and say, you're banned from saying stuff, because it doesn't work. You either take the criticism on the chin and go, right, that's where we need to improve, or you just kill it.
Yeah, totally agree. It's all about getting on with people as well, you know.
Yeah.
It really does. You know what I mean?
This is the first time we've ever spoke, and we've got a good community talking about stuff.
Exactly. That's what you need. That's why I get me followers as well. So I get me subscribers as well. So because they think, I get a lot of people saying that I'm a cool guy, I'm cool, and I don't talk over people. So I think that's wrong. I let people have this here. I think it's great. And it is what it is. And I've got Annie again. Cheers, we need him. Calling to Tom Lawrence. Specific pound wants Tom. If you guys are doing, I think Mick McCarthy would go for him too.
That'd be a good replacement for Cardiff. For Wilson, that would be a good one.
Did he play for Swansea though as well, Tom Lawrence?
Yeah.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he did.
I could be wrong on that. I think he has. I think Bruce would be great for your team, Annie. Massive fan of your podcast with Dexter Early Box.
Yeah, that is my co-host. We started this year called Talking Wednesday on his channel, Dexterity Box. He was doing live streams all the same. We got talking and we did podcast. And thank you, we much appreciate it. Being a new podcast, it actually really helps that hearing that on somebody else's channel and somebody who's not a Wednesday fan. So it means our reach is getting there and people enjoying it. Thank you, we appreciate it. Even though I can't pronounce people's names, I suck at it. You should see me when I try and do some of the team lineups. I'm like, I think I can't remember who it was. It may have been QPR. And I looked at it and went, I am trying to say any of them. Nope, not happening. And I've seen some of the players went to link with like, please don't sign him. I can't say name. I'll just have to give nicknames like you do on Football Manager, like Dave and Tom and Big Dave.
Oh man, bless ya. Oh man, cool. I've got to do a show after the game at some point. It'll be big news if Dobby and Wednesday guy doing. One of us will go. And I've got rid of this Tom has played first. Harrison played. Oh right, I thought right. He was on Cardiff on loan. Was McCarthy Ipswich 2, I think.
Well, that would help for them then if he's already played under, I think, a player who knows a manager helps. Just don't do what we did and kind of. Yes, that equaliser. Don't remind me. I was crying. Not literally, but that really did us. And that's the game we had the penalty save from Barry Bannon. It was a poor penalty. If I'm going to say I like Barry Bannon, he's our club captain, but Christ, hit it top corner, not bottom left.
If you're gonna hit it, go for penalty. You got to smack it in.
You're gonna smack it top. You gotta do an Andy Keane, Dwight York kind of Andy Cole even, where they just hit it and you knew where it went. Yeah,
Johnny Williams.
I like Johnny Williams. It's just a shame his career been so hit and miss, bless him, because he just has so many injuries.
That's the thing. You don't want that in the time of the career, don't you? But
we want to players that we hear that still playing like in League Two when he's like 38 or something, because he just doesn't. But he'll be a baller because he's missed so much football.
Such a talent, but again, sort of thing, sad man, because he had a good career, but injuries just played its part. So I'll wrap this up in a minute. So I'll talk about today, Saturday's game, and how do you think it's going to go, and what do you think the score is going to be? Can you stay up?
I think it's going to be a very nervy game for both teams. I think both teams are going to be very nervous at the back. I saw the Derby game, and Derby didn't look great at the back. We're not great at the back. So it could be quite a high-scoring game, but I'm not sure. I want to say it'll be a 2-1 win Wednesday. Yeah. But if Derby score, that could be it. It all depends on which team get the mental side right. I think both teams got the ability. Yeah. And if we both go down, we both deserve to go down because Rotherham have got a minor goal difference of like 16.
Yeah.
We both got minor goal difference of 22 and 21. If you're going to go down, that's how you go down.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
At the end of the day, we'll have to say, we were for we had it when we played Bristol City a couple of seasons ago. We were 4-0 down at our time away, and we all left.
Wow. And what's the score in the end?
I think it was 4-0 or 4-1.
That was it. Wow. Unbelievable.
There was hardly any Wednesday fans there. This is the problem. Wednesday fans are so disjointed from their team now because of the owner, and it's an owner situation again. If we go down, the only person that can blame is the owner. We can't do anything. We haven't been there all season.
No, I totally agree, because at the end of the day, if you don't put money in the club and messages about stuff, and he's the one's he's going to get it at the end of the day, and it's not good at all, and shocking. You don't perform, you got to get it. Now, Andrew, I wouldn't dream being in the position Wednesday. Oh God, you don't want to be there at all. And I've got Turnchills as well. We should start and work in League One so we can offload Shelfie, Kraft, Joe Linton. Do you know what? I'll offload about 8 other people, so I only keep 6 at Newcastle. No problem at all. Got rid of this so I can see any result. I what about it? But if we score first, I think we're still collapse. Tight game, a draw, and the Rams to just make it stay up. Great show.
I need a win.
So give us a scoreline for Saturday.
I'm going 2-1 Wednesday.
2-1 Wednesday. That depends if Rotherham win or not as well. If Rotherham beating, you win your game.
Rotherham have got Cardiff, and Cardiff got a good chance. You got to remember, wherever the clubs that end up, they can go to their owners and go, you can give me a bit more money. Like Luton getting mid-table, they can go and have a bit more money to spend because they're building something now. Cardiff will want to go up next season. So I think they go for hell to leather to go, look, this is what I can do with this. And their last result was 4-1 or 4-0. So they could get smacked, but don't rule Rotherham out because they are a very big team in terms of their mental side.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, Wednesday still got more quality. 2-1 to Wednesday.
Quality means nothing if your mental side gone, sadly.
Yeah.
if that was the case, we'd be higher up.
Totally agree. Absolutely.
I thank you for the compliment there, but yeah, quality means nothing if your mental side gone.
Good food. And result Fulham Burnley as well. We need Burnley to beat Fulham. In fact,
I think they will. Fulham look like they lost it really, haven't they?
They have. They won 5 games this season. They dropped to about 14 points in winning positions, and that you can't do that. If they've not done that, Newcastle will be bottom 3, no doubt.
I don't think that's because Scott Parker's a bad manager. I think Scott Parker's a very good up and coming manager. I think the difference is you're asking a lot for a manager who's had one season. That's why Frank Lampard didn't do well at Chelsea. He had one season.
Yeah, and the players he didn't, and then the players they got for 200 million sort of thing. I didn't for the Lampard's players anyway. Thanks, players. he can't say because his head coach at the time. So,
it was built behind him, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that
it's
built for someone else to come. Yeah,
exactly. Can you imagine being a South American and he tries to speak English? You can't. Thiago Silva. Wow. Still
can you imagine Thiago Silva trying to understand Cockney?
Yeah, I do like Thiago Silva. Oh, he's brilliant for AC Milan.
Great player.
Brilliant for Milan. But just a quick one now. I'm not sure when to have more quality. We have multiple international players in our side. We've got international players in the team.
Yep.
And
we've got a lot of Scottish players in our team.
Still not good enough though. So there you go.
At the end of the day, everybody around there wouldn't be there if the players were good enough or the players were doing well.
Exactly. And if they get a thing out sort of thing, give it the 90% of your life and then hopefully do it.
I want to stay up because I want Sheffield City derby because I haven't had one for 2 seasons, damn it.
Wow. You might just get your chance there, but if you win, you've done your job. It depends how Rotherham do. If Rotherham win their game,
we could do really well, and if knowing Wednesday, right, I'll tell you what will happen. Wednesday will won it 2-1. It'll be 0-0 at Rotherham, and it'll be a 95-minute winner from Sodding Smith for Rotherham, and it sends us both down.
Yes. Well,
that's the Wednesday way.
Yeah, and I think Rotherham will probably do that as well because they're fighting for their lives. Had all these games in hand, but you're lucky they haven't been winning the games. But
I'll go put a bet on that. Actually, I might win some cash.
Yeah. Well, listen, Jade. Well, thank you very much for coming on tonight.
Thank you for having me. It's been a blast.
I could chat to you for a couple of hours as well, sort of thing. But obviously,
if you ever want someone else to talk more football, I'm more than happy to come on. It's been fun. I've really enjoyed it.
You know what, mate? I'll make you a regular as well, sort of thing. Other than me, people are coming to make them regulars as well. And listen, I'm going to read this comment very, very quickly from Jules. Bruce, it's the same, a horse with no legs. That sounds it. Oh,
I like that.
No, but here you go. So, did you enjoy coming on my show, Jake? You have, haven't you?
Yeah. I've enjoyed it. Yeah, it's been brilliant. I like talking football anyway, even if it's not Wednesday. So I really enjoyed it. You're a really good host to just come on and talk football. And it didn't all be Wednesday, so it was nice for me not to have doom and gloom thinking about the weekend.
Absolutely. You've got your spirits up there, sort of thing. And, you still
at the end of the day, it's football. How about keep reminding people it's just football. We're in a pandemic. We can see people. We've got our healths. There's people like the great man in the corner, Claude, whose family's lost a loved one. It doesn't mean anything if we go down. There's a family who have now got to bury a loved one. And at the end of the day, if football means that much to you, then great. And it obviously meant a lot to Claude. But at the same time, a family's lost a loved one and they couldn't care less what's going on with Arsenal.
Well said. Well said. Well said. I've got good luck to you on Saturday. And
thank you very much.
These crap team wins. Come on, you Rams. That's what it's going to be. Jake, well said, by the way, but thank you very much for coming on. It's been a pleasure to have you. I don't know the two Derby fans, I don't know the Wednesday fans, so that's so cool. And it's been a pleasure. And, good
luck for the rest of the season. I hope you're not in the Championship next season.
Absolutely. If we do, we're not going to again. And before you go as well, do you have a YouTube channel at all? Or just on
Punk Sheff 41, the name here. Punk Sheff 41 across all socials. I do match review, previews, talk about a lot of breaking news on Sheffield Wednesday. I'm also on the Dexterity Box channel, which is my mate James. Dexterity Box. We have a Talking Wednesday podcast. We started it since January, and during the Euro, we're going to be doing a Talking England one as well. So please come and watch his stuff and subscribe to James and subscribe to myself and just have good content and look after yourself, people. That's all I can say. And thank you for having me on.
You too, man, and thanks so much. I'm going to get you subscribers on your channel as well. And if you're subscribed to mine, it's John Sinclair. If you put NUFC, it'll come up. And yes, it'll come up. And if you subscribe to my channel, I'll do this as well. And please smash the likes on my video. Subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you back tomorrow. And it'll either be the press conference reaction or interview Leicester City fan.
Do you Leicester City fan? Just not the press conference on the edge of the be repeating what you've seen all season.
I know. So, John, it's the end of you're right, because at the end of the day, it's just going to come with the same crap at the end of the day. What it'll do, Bruce, it'll big up.
Buy a puppet. Buy a puppet off Amazon, get it next day, and just do that all through the press conference.
I thought that's a good idea. I really do. It's a good idea. I should do that instead. Brilliant, man. Listen, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you for having me on, mate.
You too. You too. Good luck to you on Saturday and rest of you.
Oh, yeah. Finger crossed.